Welcome to the Gur and Fangirl podcast, a podcast where we discuss pop culture and fandom. Each episode, we talk with celebrities, fans, and creators about their work in the media that inspires them. Now here's your host, the creator of the Squee project, filmmaker, fangirl, and feminist, Hansi Oppenheimer.
Hey, it's Hansi, and today we're talking with Diana Prince, also known as Darcy The Mail Girl, on Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In. We chat about working in the porn industry, the mystery of Joe Bob, and our mutual love of horror. And here she is, Darcy. Hey, Darcy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Cool. Are you comfortable with Darcy or Diana, or what do you prefer?
Anything's fine. I go by Diana like it's my real name, but if you want to call me Darcy, it's all good.
Okay. Okay. So how are you? Are you at Monsterpalooza this weekend?
I am not. I was working out of town, and I just got back a little while ago, and I'm too tired to mess with that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of conning lately.
Yeah, I figure I go enough when I'm doing it for work that I can miss right now, especially like 3 o'clock on a Sunday is not the ideal time to go.
Yeah, no. I guess I wasn't sure. I knew some folks. I knew Felissa was going to be there this weekend, so I wasn't sure if you guys were there as well. But I wanted to talk to you about, your love of horror, and so do you want to talk a little about like when your love of horror started? Like, do you remember?
I guess I was like around 10. And I had like a really huge crush on Corey Feldman. And so I wanted to watch anything he ever did. And I had previously tried to watch like Nightmare on Elm Street 1, and I could not. I like literally left the lights on for a year after that. Actually, I must have even been a little older because I remember I saw Pet Cemetery, maybe 12. Anyway, whatever it was when I had a crush on Corey Feldman, and I had to see Friday the 13th Part 4. It was like the last one at that time that I hadn't seen. I was like, I'm so scared, but I must watch. And it was the first horror movie I sat all the way through, and I was just like mesmerized. Those kids were so cool. I wanted to party with them and be like them when I grew up. And like there were boobs, and it was like the excitement of Jason. And when I got all the way through it, I felt so like accomplished. So I was like, this is pretty rad. Let me dive into this more. And then it just kind of went from there.
So into a fangirl crush, and then
yeah, exactly.
On horror fandom.
Little Corey Feldman. I had to see his old stuff.
He was adorable in his day. Yeah,
he
was really cute. Yeah. I love the Frog Brothers. He was really adorable.
Yeah, that's when I officially fell in love with him and went back to his kid stuff.
And then you've worked in horror. I mean, right? In addition to what you're doing now with Joe Bob, right? You've been doing some horror films.
Yeah. I mean, they're all really terrible, and I wouldn't recommend them, but I have done them.
Well, there's a lot to be said for crappy movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of just crap too.
Well, it's hard enough to make a film, much less to make a really good film. I mean, I don't try not to judge. Right. It's hard enough to get a group of people together and get anything shot, much less make it really, really good.
True. It's true, and props to anyone that tries, but like a lot of times they want me to like promote stuff, and I'm just like, I can't in good conscience say people should go watch this. I'm so sorry. It's kind of like Joe Bob with his Hogzilla. It's like, stay away from it.
Yeah, well, but he also likes to be a little bit of a shit stirrer there too, like because his whole thing with Chud, and he likes to stir it up a little. Yeah, because I really liked Chud, but I like Chud because it shows New York in the 70s, which is my era of New York. So, and he's like, "That's why you like the movie?" I was like, "Yeah, before like it was gentrified and Soho was scary and."
I mean, I definitely love the aesthetic. It's so pretty to look at.
Yeah, and I like crappy New York movies of that period. I love all the Head and Lauder, like Brain Damage and all those movies. It shows
yeah.
New York of the 70s and 80s, and that's all gone now. So it sounds like you and I both worked at Playboy TV, right?
You and I? You did too?
Yeah, I did. I did. I worked in post, and I worked at the Andrita studio.
Oh, nice.
So I worked on Seven Lives Exposed. I was assistant editor on that show. Yeah,
I remember that. A lot of my friends were on that.
Yeah, you did. I know you did one of the reality shows. They were around the same time, like around 2002, right?
Yeah, they wanted me to pick one or the other, and I went with the foursome because it was quote unquote real. But I kept it as real as I possibly could because I went in when I first moved here, which was around that time. Like I went on all the reality shows and was like absolutely real. I didn't realize how not real you're supposed to be. And that actually ended up working really well for foursome because they were about to kick me off because I was like, no, I will not do that. That's not how I act and blah, blah, blah. But then luckily I ended up actually having a crush on one of the dudes on the show, so it all worked out.
Oh.
I dated him for a while after that.
Yeah, I mean, the people were really cool. I loved working there. It was really great. Yeah, I had some good times, working there.
How long did you work there?
Till about 2007 when porn became easily available on the internet.
Yeah, a lot of change right around then.
Yeah, it changed a lot. And then, Playboy sort of kind of went under. I mean, they were still doing night calls and stuff, but a lot of it went under.
Yeah, they started actually producing porn because I went into hardcore myself after that. And I was shocked. They brought me in to shoot actual Playboy porn. I'm like, I thought you guys didn't do that.
Well, they owned Vivid, Hotnet, and Hot Zone.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, so they kept the Playboy brand as this very wholesome American, just boobs. But then they owned all this XXX stuff. Because what I used to do in the dub room was I would cut down, the single X, XXX for the editors to sound. But my funniest story there was my daughter's your age, so she just turned 40, and she came to visit me. It was in 2002, so she wasn't a kid. But me and her dad and her are all in the dub room, and there's 20 monitors all showing various porn things, and my daughter just looks at us and is like, "Oh my God, I'm watching porn with my parents."
That's awesome.
Because when you're around it all the time, you don't even. It doesn't mean anything, right?
So used to it.
Yeah.
My kid was so used to all my stuff. She's like, doesn't even faze us.
Yeah, it's just whatever. It's not. And every once in a while you see something that's interesting, you're like, oh, that's cool. And most of the time it's just,
Exactly. You get so just numb to it. I'd be on set and people would come visit me on set and they'd be like, wait, you realize people are banging right next to us and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I forget about all that, and running around naked and whatever, and it's just so normal to me. I'm like, hey, come in and have pizza. They're like, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine, as long as you're comfortable doing it, you're not, being forced to do it. It's your choice.
Absolutely.
And it's, and a lot of the women I knew, like Christy Canyon and Ginger Lynn and stuff, I mean, they enjoyed their work. They were, they made good livings. They enjoyed it. They were.
Yeah, I mean, Christy Canyon's still at it, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in quite a while. I mean, the last time I ran into Ginger Lynn was at one of the Monster Paloozas or Monster Mania, one of the ones in Cherry Hill, because she does the Rob Zombie movies now. And that was the last time I seen her a couple years ago.
She has a site and stuff. I worked with her when I was working. So they've been in it for a long time.
Yeah, and they're into it. They do it. I remember it too. It's funny because we'd work in the dub room, and the dub room was right down the hall from the radio studio. And they'd be interviewing someone, and then the executives come running down the hall because they end up giving a blowjob to whoever they were interviewing, and the executives like, no, they can't do that. And it's like, they're porn stars. What do you expect them to do? So, how are you enjoying your horror celebrity?
I definitely don't even think of it that way. I'm just Joe Bob's cheerleader.
and that's I think that's a good spot for you, because he can be sort of curmudgeonly. I love Joe Bob, and I've always loved Joe Bob since like the early days and everything. But he can be a little
I know you made a film that I want to like see and know all about. Like he's just an amazing person. So anyone else that's supporting him, like I want to support them too because he's just amazing. We should get the word out.
And he's so funny. It's like I couldn't believe he didn't watch the film. I thought like he hated me because he didn't like the film.
He doesn't watch anything that he's in or on or whatever. He had never seen any of his Monster Vision stuff. I pull up his IMDb in front of him to like ask him about stuff, and he's like, "Put down the screen. I can't see it." I'm like, "What?" It's like it's literally just a list of films you've done. He's like, "If anything's wrong or anything, it's gonna drive me crazy." So it's like he doesn't watch anything with himself at all. You'll notice like his IMDb picture is like half of the side of his face or something. Like you can't even tell it's him. It's crazy.
It's so funny. Yeah, he's really.
I know.
It's like
I finally made him watch a little bit of the playback from Last Drive-In, and then he'll like chuckle at himself. He's like, "Yeah, I did good." It's like, "Oh, see, you should watch more often." But then he like tries to make me watch myself, and I'm like, "Well, no, we're not doing that either." So I get it. He's like, "I've never even seen any of my porn or anything." He's like, "Oh, have you seen this?" "No, I'm not going to. Turn it off."
Yeah, well, I can get that. That might be more difficult. But I mean, I mean, he's got such a weird split because there's John Bloom and then there's Joe Bob Briggs, and so Joe Bob Briggs seems like this really like, character who would, but then you talk to him and it's not Joe Bob Briggs, it's John Bloom, and he's really humble and doesn't, and so it's like, it's kind of a weird, like, I'm not quite sure how to, in my brain to put that together there. I'm like, I don't know how this works for you, but whatever he does, it's brilliant.
Like, off camera, he's just kind of, cool and chill and quiet, but then as soon as you go on camera, it's like the Joe Bob comes out, and it's like, I freak out. I'm like, not Joe Bob mode. Like, it's so intimidating and loud and fucking obnoxious.
I know, it's so weird. It's like this totally different personality.
It's like he turns on a light, like just as soon as he gets in that mode, and it's so different.
Huh. That's really interesting. Yeah, because I met him at a couple cons and tried to talk to him, and it was like, maybe he doesn't like me because he's being so reserved and stuff.
He is exactly reserved is a great word for it until he's in Joe Bob mode, and then so not.
So this is such a fun gig for you, though. I mean, you must be having a
blast.
Getting. Are there any films that you haven't learning about while you're working on the show, or?
Some are coming up, so I can't say it. But like, the formula now is like when we do the double features and pick one that's a cosplay and one that's a male girl. So I've had to actually watch ahead of time some that I hadn't seen before to get the cosplay right. And I'm grateful for that. I'm like, I would have never watched this movie ever if it weren't for you, and I didn't hate it. That's pretty cool. Offhand, I can't think of one that I can mention because like all the ones in the marathon I had seen already. But going back and remembering like the Changeling, like I wouldn't have rewatched that, and I appreciated it more this go around than when I first tried to watch it because it was like really slow, not my usual style. But I rewatched it for him and with him, and it was like, oh, okay, I can appreciate this now.
What are your favorite horror films? Like top 3 off the top of your head?
My favorite ever is Scream. Second favorite is for sure Friday 4. Both of those are my favorite films of any genre. And then third, probably Hello, Mary Lou.
Oh, wow. Interesting choices. Okay. So more like
Joe Bob doesn't agree. Joe Bob thinks Scream is like the death of the slasher genre. So I'm hoping we can show that so I can put him in his place.
Well, I haven't watched it yet because I was in Toronto all week, but they just did Deathgasm, which is one of my favorite recent films, so I'm looking forward to watching that tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
It's such a great film. I love that film so much. I have a t-shirt, and I wrote to Jason Lee Howden as soon as I saw it, and was like, this is an amazing film, I love this so much, and kept telling everyone they had to watch it, because it's very, like, Evil Dead kind of.
Completely,
prosthetic, and You know, and I
I
love
met
that.
the drummer or something from Axe Slasher at one of Joe Bob's appearances, and we were hoping to get him on the show. It didn't work out, but we got to read a letter that he wrote on the show. Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't seen it. But he was so excited. It was so cute. And then, like, the writer and director were watching, but they couldn't see it, you know, but they were following Twitter and stuff. It's just amazing to have that interaction, and then all these people to see how much people appreciated their work. That was a pretty cool experience.
Well, I mean, I think that's what you guys are doing. You're like, it's, you know, you're bringing, you know, these films to people, you know, who may not know them. I mean, you know, the new generation might not know about the older classics, and some of the older folks might not know about the new things.
Exactly.
So,
I love that. Like, both the Changeling and Deathgasm got, like, this is my first time watch from, like, so many people, and I was so happy. And people seem to really love Deathgasm, and they hadn't even heard of it, and that's crazy to me. So it's awesome to be able to introduce people to stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember when when you guys screened Basket Case, and people were like, "Oh my God, this crazy movie Basket Case!"
Oh my God, I can't believe people hadn't heard of Basket Case. That's crazy.
I know. Like, oh my God, like, and I know Kevin Van Hendrick has said the only movie he wants to do is Basket Case 4. So he wants to play like the older Belial.
Oh gosh, I hope it happens.
So he says he's writing it. So if anyone
Shut
out there
up,
has
that's
money
awesome.
and wants
I will
to fund
kickstart
it,
the heck out of it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So, do you have any like horror stars that you want to meet or have met, or any Squee moments you want to talk about?
I think I've met like everyone I've dreamed of that's still around anyway. Because it's just I live in LA, so there's like so much going on always. But like some of the biggest Squee moments, besides when I first met Joe Bob, which was like insanity, was Barbara Steele. Like getting to meet her. I'm so glad.
Oh my God. I love her.
She wanted an Uber ride. She was like, "Can someone help me get a ride home?" I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Barbara Steele, I'll help you get home. Just like I know it's amazing, and I get to see all these people like they're real people, and it's just still an insane thing to me. All the guests that we had, Barbara Crampton, like we had dinner with her before we shot, and it was just like she was sitting next to me and ordering tacos with me. I'm like, this is so weird. I've loved you forever. I can't eat right now. Melissa Rowe, like the first time I met her, like it was insanity. Like, and she's like, "Oh, I love your clothes," and she like grabbed my shoes to wear on the show and stuff. I'm like, Melissa Rose just borrowed my shoes. That's cool.
She's really sweet. She's so sweet.
She was amazing. I didn't know she was going to be on. Like when we did the marathon, they picked us both up at the hotel, and she walked out. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? And we had to like ride in the van together. I'm like, I can't handle this already. Like this is already too much for my brain to comprehend.
Yeah.
I hadn't even like gone on to the Joe Bob part yet.
This is like the dream job. You just like
seriously. And then oh God, when I got to bring Michael Berryman, his little doll, his face just like killed me. He was so excited. He had seemed kind of stoic and scary until then, and I brought out the little doll, and there's like stills of it. He just had the biggest smile on his face. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
So who do you want to meet? Is there anyone you haven't met yet that you?
I really can't think of anybody offhand because I speak it out. I go to cons and have people on my bucket list like who I need to meet, and I feel like I pretty much have done that. But it doesn't mean I still get freaked out when I see them and talk to them for any length. Like, you know, I meet them and be like, "Hi, you're amazing," and then go away. So like to have longer conversations would kind of be the goal now, I guess.
Yeah. It's a weird thing, you know. Like it was like that with Joe Bob the first couple of times. Like, you know, the first time I met him was at the Nighthawk screening, you know, in Brooklyn before the Shudder thing happened. So I just ended up hanging out with him and the Shudder people, and he was really chill, you know. And then the Shudder thing blew up. You know, he broke the internet and it blew up. And so the next couple times he was much more reserved. So I was like, I don't know if he likes me. Maybe he doesn't, you know.
Oh, no. He's overwhelmed by the response. It's crazy. He's like, I've been doing this show, like his redneck show, for like so many years and no one gave a shit. And now I like do it every weekend. Everybody acts like it's the greatest thing. I don't understand. But it's awesome. And I'm so glad he gets to to see that reaction.
Everybody's really just happy he's back. I mean,
I know.
There's this
I
whole
love it.
community.
He did not believe in it at all. He was like, no one's going to care. Stupid internet. Like, they don't need me anymore. Like, we need you, dude, always. And the very first night as it was happening, I was like, dude, you are not going to believe, like, the response. And he was just like, oh, well, that's nice. Like, he didn't really get it. So I'm glad people were watching. He was actually mad because we were like, the internet broke. That's fucking rad. Do you understand? Like, that's because so many people are trying to watch it. He's like, but does that mean people can't see it? This is terrible. Like, he just really wanted people to be able to watch the show. I'm like, don't worry about that later. Be happy they're tuning in.
Yeah, he wrote that piece about, that it shouldn't be important that the internet broke. That's, you work hard on the show and you want people to see it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, no, Joe Bob, it means, like, we love you and we're so happy to see you.
Yes, I was so happy to tell him. Like, and I was just like, that's when all the tweeting thing wasn't really planned to tweet during the show, but because it broke down, everybody's like, what's going on? And I was like so happy people were watching, like, just hold on, we're trying to fix it, and like trying to get the word out. And then it just kept going from there, and it became this like everyone talking. And so like I ended up being like, I was just supposed to do the mail like off camera or like normal stuff or whatever, and then it just became like, hey, let's just tweet this all the time and keep that vibe going. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect for him because he needs someone to sort of who's savvy with the social media and can do that because he doesn't want to really do that. So this is perfect for you.
It is, and I'm so glad I can help him with it because now he gets like so much mail, and I love being able to especially make sure he doesn't miss any of the like really sweet. There's so many touching fan letters. I'm like, you have to pay attention to this one right now, like because someone get lost for a while, But it's like this one.
I mean,
is just
he's brought horror to like generations of people, and not only just horror, but like all the information about the horror films, like.
I know. He's like seriously our teacher, and that's super important.
So, can I ask you how you managed to get in Twitter jail twice?
I honestly don't know. I don't understand it. It's like all of a sudden they decide I'm tweeting too much, even though like during the marathons I did the same thing. They didn't care, but the first week someone said maybe it was the content because it was all like shunting and like orgies and stuff, and like maybe they thought you were a porn bot. Like, okay, I can see that, but then like they were so kind and got me out quickly when people were doing the free Darcy and whatever. Like in 20 minutes, it was back to normal and it was all good. So I like wrote them a couple of times and like, so let's make sure that doesn't happen again. I'm not a bot. It's all good. And then, bam, they did it again, and they didn't fix it as quickly this time. So I don't know if they are going to or not. But Joe Bob was trying to, like, he couldn't remember his login for his Twitter. It's like, it just always stays there. I don't know how to do it. So, like, we're going to get that figured out so that if I get locked out again, I just get to take over his account. So that actually, like, I'm slightly looking forward to it now. It's like, ha, ha, ha. Now I can put out the Halloween 3 rules, and it'll be coming from you.
Oh my God.
So we will figure it out. But it was so funny. He's like, here, my password. And I actually got locked out of his account trying to like figure out the password. And I'm like, well, damn.
Yeah. So you think it's partially content, partially like just the amount.
Well, I thought it was until it happened again. There's no way the content this time. Well, I guess I was talking about dildos during Death Cab. They claim it's because they think I'm a bot, possibly, with their like algorithms and so many. And what's funny is like the limit is like 5,000 a day or something. Like, there's no fucking way I tweeted 5,000 tweets. I guess it's possible because retweets count.
If they count retweets, because if it's retweets,
they do,
probably. Oh, so that's what it is. So,
but I swear, I was doing the same thing during the marathon. The show is popular.
Yeah, you just have to stop being so awesome.
I'll work on that.
So, is there anything you want to say to women horror fans, like, or women who like horror, that any advice or any thoughts?
I don't know. I guess I don't really look at it any differently. Like, I look forward to the day when women horror is not an unusual thing,
Well,
so,
I mean, there are definitely more of us making it now.
Yeah, and that's freaking rad.
I mean, I think we've always been a big audience, but I think there's more now women directors and writers and, So,
And that's amazing, and that
seeing,
is definitely needs to keep going.
yeah, I mean, maybe you might want to do that one day, or
I don't know how much he wants to talk about, but I am. Joe Bob has encouraged me to.
Yay!
He's got some production of stuff coming up, and I'll be able to talk about it a lot later. But yeah, I got my stuff coming up, and I'm excited because I'm much more of a behind the scenes person. So I love being in charge of making a film. Because I mentioned earlier, like a lot of the films I get asked to act in are not ones I would want to watch. So
you
I'm
want to produce,
happy to be able to make something that I'm producing and writing. So
brilliant.
I'm happy to be able to show something that I'm actually proud of for once.
Yeah, and please keep me posted. I'm happy to promote the hell out of you, because my whole thing is sort of promoting other women in fandom and creators.
That's
and
amazing.
I run a couple of film festivals of women's work. So
wow, that's awesome.
yeah, I would I'll promote the crap out of it. So keep me posted.
Thank you.
And anything you want to promote or you're working on, and you're proud of, please let me know. I'm happy to share. You were so sweet at the con. I really appreciated it. You're getting all dressed.
Oh, I'm so sorry I kept you waiting for nothing. Oh God.
Oh no, it was fine. It was only a few minutes, and it was so funny. You're like, I don't like my makeup, and you're like, you're gorgeous.
Well, thank you. But sometimes it ain't right.
I understand. It's it's not what other people see. It's how you feel, right?
It's true. Plus, I am really camera shy despite the porn stuff, so it takes a lot for me to be able to speak on camera. So I was like, don't do that to me right now.
Oh,
I didn't
was at a
or
con.
anything.
I think it's hard, especially con brain on a Sunday, to get your thoughts right. I mean, especially after karaoke the night before. No one was thinking clearly. I mean, because I wasn't
get to do any of that stuff because he had booked it. It was the first weekend, the premiere of the series.
Right.
So he booked so much publicity stuff, like back to back to back to back. Like, I was just working like the whole time. So
you didn't even get to go
I
and
was pretty
party.
brain fried by Sunday.
Yeah, because if I'd had my wits about me, I would have been like, I can just put my hand over the lens and we could do the interview now.
Well, that would have made me feel silly, and I would have gotten it together. But whatever, we're here now, so yay!
We get to talk now, and that's fine. Anyway, so thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me, and I'll probably get this episode up in the next week or so.
Awesome! It's completely my pleasure.
And if you want to DM me an email so I can send you stuff.
For sure, I'll do that right now.
Besides Twitter.
Okay. There's life outside Twitter? What?
Just in case you're in Twitter jail again and I can't reach you, okay?
Very good point.
So I'm going to watch this.
All right, I will DM
I'll let you know how it goes.
All right.
Okay, honey. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Grr in Fangirl. If you enjoyed our show, be sure to visit our website, www.squeeprojects.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel for lots more Squee as fuck pop culture content. Thanks for joining us this week on the Grr in Fangirl. If you enjoyed our show, be sure to visit our website, www.squeeprojects.com, where you can subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel for lots more squee as fuck pop culture content.